We all know how important light is for our plants' health and growth, but do you really understand what light levels are? Do you know what the plants really require? And what PAR, lux, umols and lumens are. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of this information so that you understand how to ensure that your plants get enough light levels for health and growth. And we're also going to take a look at the Grow Light by Spider Farmer. And make sure you stay to the end of the video, because during this video, I'm going to give away one of these lights to one of you. I'm Tony O'Neill and this is Simplified Gardening, where I show you how to garden in a simpler way. If you want that perfect garden to relax in, or just want to grow your own nutrient-dense foods, then start now by clicking the subscribe button and the bell icon. Then click all to be notified each time I release new content just like this. So how much light do plants need? Well, you may have heard that plants require 8 to 10 hours worth of daylight per day in order to remain healthy and to grow. But not all light is created equal. In the summer, the light's very good because the sun is high in the sky and we get a long duration from early in the morning till late in the evening. In autumn or fall, light levels drop because the sun is much lower in the sky and usually it's overcast. In the winter, again, the hours of daylight are much shorter and it's usually much darker because of the gloomy weather. If we're growing outside, then we just have to accept the lighting levels and allow the sun to do its own thing. But when we're growing indoors, like in a greenhouse or polytunnel, well, we have a few more options available to us and we can control that lighting a little bit. You may be like me, where I'm growing houseplants at home as well. Now, each of those houseplants has different requirements as far as lighting goes, and having grow lights at home allows me to control each of the lights so that I can provide the perfect conditions for each of those plants. And this is where today's sponsor comes in, because you may remember last year that I reviewed a light by the Spider Farmer company called the SF2000, and I'll put a link in the description below and the cards above. In today's episode, I'm going to take you through the SF2000 and we're going to see what benefits that light can give us for controlling the lighting levels with our plants. Now, to be perfectly upfront with you, Spider Farmer has sent me 2 of these lights. One for me to test here today and another to give away to one of you. So if you want to be in the chance of winning that extra light, which is the SF2000, which you'll see throughout this video, then what you'll need to do is watch the entire video and make sure that you find the pink marshmallow that I've hidden within the video. When you find that, leave a comment below with the timestamp that you saw that marshmallow and I will pick that randomly. Now, folks, this is just a little bit of fun. There will be a second video in November where I will draw the comment out of the list randomly and that person will win the Spider Farmer SF2000. Now, please bear in mind that this is open to everybody. I have the unit here and I will send it directly myself. Now, for those of you interested in buying one of these lights from Spider Farmer, I'm going to put links for this light and the other SF series down in the description below, because these lights you will absolutely love. Now, let's get on with testing this one. I've set this light up on a temporary stand to allow me to adjust its height so that I can test it. Now, Spider Farmer supply cables that are on a ratchet type thing and they allow you to adjust the height of this light very easily. And below that light, I have a grid laid out on some white paper of some squares. And this is what I'm going to be using to test various points of this light that is emitted. Now, we are going to do this twice and we're going to test firstly at 1 foot and secondly at 3 foot height. In order to test this light, I'll be using this, which is an MQ200 quantum power meter. Now, there are various versions of these around. The MQ500 is a slightly better model, but this MQ200 is going to do what we need. And this will give us the light levels in umols around the paper. Before we go into this though, I just want to say that this is by no means a professional setup for testing light levels. Normally it would be done in a room with reflective walls so that all the light bounces back in. The meters will then read the overall lights, and you will usually combine all of the details that you get from each section, and that will give you an overall reading. However, this will give us relatively close readings to see whether or not the light lives up to its expectations and what Spider Farmer are claiming within their readings of the light emitted from it. When you're buying lights, you will see that light is measured by lots of different measurements. You will see that it's measured by umols, par, lumens and lux. So there's lots of different readings. Now the one we are looking for is umols, and typically that's what the Apogee MQ200 and the MQ500 will give you a reading on. Typical plants require a umol of around about 65 per square foot. Now, if you're looking at square meters, that would be around about 700 umols. But we're going to concentrate on this grid today, and we're going to give us the readings via this. Now, I know it sounds complicated, but it really isn't, because this unit does all the work for us. All we need to do is place the sensor at each cross point within the grid, and this will give us a reading, and we just mark that reading down and we'll know exactly what the umols in that given area are. So as you can see, the readings that the Spider Farmer have given us are relatively close to what we have found here. Now, bearing in mind, my grid work here is not going to be anything like the readings that Spider Farmer have, in the fact that they would have had a professional setup to test this. I've got grey walls around me, a dark floor, so all that light will be absorbed and not reflected back to the sensor. However, you will see that even at 1 foot, there's some really high figures here, and I've raised it to 3 foot as well. Now, at 3 foot, the spillover still pushes out all the extremities to well within the 65 plus umols. The closer to the ground, the less light that goes out, but the higher the concentration. And as you lift it at 3 foot, you're still getting a really big area that this light will cover. It's fantastic. The light emitted is brilliant. Now, the great thing about this unit is it allows you to adjust that light levels by the dimming switch, so you can set your light at a specific area, and then you can use the power meter and turn that light down. This way you know that your plants are getting the exact amount of light that they require. You're not guessing by just putting a light and keeping it close to the thing, where you usually get burn on the leaves, or you're moving it too far away and the plants are not getting what they require. This also makes it very, very useful light for somewhere that is a short distance from the plants. You don't have the space to have it up high, so you can just tune down that light by turning the dimmer and adjusting those light levels. But if you've got it mounted to the ceiling, you can really whack it up and get that light down to the canopy of the plants. Like the Spider Farmer SF2000 that we covered last year, The SF2000 contains the same Samsung SM301B light diodes and the meanwhile driver as well. It's a really well built unit. And I've been using the SF1000 for over a year with really good effects. I really like these lights. They're fantastic, they're well made, and the aluminium plate just really gets rid of that heat very fast, so it's really good for the actual overall health of the light. So when growing vegetables or houseplants, this light can put out enough light to support your plants over 4 square feet, and it runs at half the cost over normal Burple lights. Now, a good spectrum range for plants would be between 400 and 700 nm, and this is usually what most lights are built around, and the meanwhile driver and the diodes built within this light cover those, the 3000 Kelvin, the 5400 Kelvin, and it pushes it right up over the 700 nm as well, so you get a really good spectrum of light with this for your plants at home. So what are your thoughts on this light? I really like the SF1000, but this is double the size. The SF2000, again, same build quality, fantastic light, and puts out more than enough light. Now I'm going to use this in the plant room that I'm building, the grow room, and I'll put you onto that video very, very shortly. Did you find the marshmallow? If you want to win one of these, make sure that you put the timestamp with your comment below in the comment section, and I will draw that randomly. These really are fantastic lights. Now don't forget, all the links to buy these lights are in the description below for Spider Farmer, so just go down there and you will see all the links for Spider Farmer to be able to purchase these lights. They are worth the money, guys. They really are good lights. If you've got value from this video, you can subscribe here, and when you've done that, then if you want to learn more about the SF1000, then this is the video that you should watch next. I'm Tony O'Neill. This is Simplified Gardening, where I show you how to garden in a simpler way. Remember folks, you reap what you sow, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.